Greg Jenkins is a military veteran, having previously served as a military police officer for the U.S. Army. He is also the founder of the American Veterans Emergency Response Team, a nonprofit that helps homeless veterans get back up on their feet and helps prevent veteran suicide. In this clip, Greg talks about how many veterans' experience of hitting the brick wall at the VA when they're trying to seek help and services, and how hitting this brick wall can lead veterans into a crisis situation. I hope you like and subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, I hope you head over to vet.1 to support the work of Greg Jenkins there. Thank you.
Now, when you meet these people, what is the kind of situation that they're usually in, and maybe what are some factors that might lead them to be into a crisis?
9 times out of 10, they've hit a brick wall at the VA and they can't get past it. Whether it's a personality conflict, a rules or regulation conflict, some sort of income barrier, or something that they can't hurdle, they can't overcome. Sometimes it's just the people at the VA are having a bad day, and that veteran got the blunt end of the stick. Every situation is different, Luke. There's not one, but commonly what I see is that they've been to the VA, they've asked for help, they've hit a brick wall, they've been through the program, they flunked out of the program, and now they have no other resource available to receive the help they need. And that's where we step in and make sure that they get the help that they need and that they are successful, and we don't turn them away.
And so it might be a situation where, I guess, if they're coming out of the service and they have some sort of mental health element that they might have developed during their time in service, going back to what you mentioned, where there's that gap where the VA, you have to go through this long process of, I guess, getting the veteran back to where they were to begin with when they left the service.
Even to get into the system.
Right, just to get the
medication. Just to get into the system and get into the programs is one of the greatest challenges. Once you're in the system and you're into the program, making sure that the personalities match between the service providers, from the receptionists through to the nurses and the technicians, all the way through to the doctors, the psychiatrists. Everybody has to get along. And if there's a hiccup anywhere along that way, they're not getting rid of the employee, they're getting rid of the veteran. And so that veteran may end up on the street without any help, and that's where we step in and provide the professional help that they need.
So just from talking to you here, and we've talked quite a bit before over the past few years, but one thing I've always mentioned to you is that it really seems like what you're doing is really taking a personal approach to these people.
A custom, yes.
Exactly.
A custom fit for every veteran.
Right.
But the foundation is the same. It's the shit, shower, and shave facility. And then the food forest to feed, or the veterans gardens to feed those veterans. Those two elements, along with the mental health treatment that we provide, is just, that combination is a true emergency response.
And mentioning some of those facilities, when you came into the high country, I mean, these past few years, these are things that you have established here in the county. Maybe you just talk about what that journey was like when you came from Florida to our area here in Avery, Watauga, Carter counties.
There really wasn't anything here to speak of. There was a homeless shelter, but illegals had priority over veterans if they showed up first. So really what we've done is we've prioritized veterans, we've located veterans, we've offered them the help. We've established the services in the area, from our K-9 program to our mental health treatment, our safe houses, our intervention, our gardening. All of those things are established now in this high country area for those veterans in crisis.
And what do each of those services look like? So I believe some of those are kind of more focused on the area than maybe some you might have started down in Florida and some other parts around the country. But what does that look like, just being an organization of yourself plus a few key people?
Right. Well, like our Blueberry program, the antioxidants for cancer is unique to this area. Okay. We don't do that anywhere else in the country, but we were offered the opportunity to have a 12-acre farm of blueberries, organically grown, some of the finest blueberries in the country, and we harvest those and provide them to veterans with cancer crisis. And so that's one of the custom programs that we've put together in this region to help veterans in this region that suffer from cancer, and there seems to be a very large number of them.
Would you say that veterans might, in some sense, be more prone to suffering from something like that, consider maybe some of the things they might be exposed to during their service?
Correct. That's why a lot of veterans have illnesses on a greater scale than the average civilian, is because of the toxic exposure in the environments in which we serve in. You know, from Vietnam, we saw Agent Orange and cancers that go along with that. From the Gulf War, we had burn pits and toxic exposure. What people don't realize is actually we had toxic military bases like Camp Lejeune. You see advertised on TV now. Well, there's a number of those bases that haven't been recognized yet. And those veterans are still suffering out there on the streets today because, like Fort McClellan, where I went to basic training, was never included, but yet it was a super site and shut down. And Monsanto paid, I think, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to the community, but the veterans were excluded from the toxic exposure.
And so there's bases around the country today that you might not know of or be recognized, like kind of like Camp Lejeune has, where you see those commercials on TV saying that you've been exposed and all those hotline numbers.
So they're patting themselves on the back for this latest bill that covers Camp Lejeune, but what they don't tell you in those commercials is that there's possibly tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of veterans that were exposed in other military bases that just haven't been included in that bill yet. And so those veterans are continuing to suffer, and we're trying to provide that care.
And so with the, I think the blueberry patch, I think you said he had one specific veteran who...
Oh yeah, we had a Vietnam veteran that had cancer when we came to this region and is now cancer free. I'm not saying that blueberries cured the cancer, but I'll tell you what, the antioxidants didn't hurt anything.
I think that's definitely the case.